and particularly as a ratio balanced by the amount of fun and reward people get from here.
So, tell me about Rebel Grove. What makes it such a magical place that, I mean, I was here this weekend, or not this weekend, but this season, and we had gorgeous weather all season until that one weekend when it just downpoured. And people were still there, people were still at the White Hart, all crowded together to listen to the performers, and the performers were still playing, and nobody was leaving. What makes Rebel Grove such a magical place?
Well, you've been here the 2 years you've been working on your project, and you've actually experienced 2 of our lesser years in more difficult years in the past 5, both attendance-wise, economically, and weather-wise. We've been faced by some of the more difficult challenges than we have had in a long, long time. And the 2 days in particular where it rained the worst, each day over 3 inches of rain in this area, we still drew over 3,500 people each day. And that testifies that the festivals become institutionalized, of course, but they wouldn't show up if it was just to get a paycheck or just to get their fix of something or other. They show up because they're here all day and they participate all day, and they're going to have to weather the storm anyway, whether it's sitting in front of their television at home or getting out and interacting with folks. So why didn't they do that at a mall? Why didn't they do that at a movie theater? Why didn't they do that at another craft show? I don't know, except that we must be offering something that they like enough to be able to come out here and stand outdoors and get wet. We try and provide some coverage, but you're going to get wet in between those, and so you're wet for the rest of the day. And so you're out of the rain, but wet and cold and damp, but they're willing to do that, and so that they can share in the experiences with the other people. And when this place is rocking, the weather's gorgeous, the temperature's terrific, I don't want all the coverings. I want it as outdoors and as vibrant and enjoyable as possible. And the people who come when it's not are willing to experience it on all kinds of days and experience every asset or every aspect and facet of the festival. And then you'll get people who say, well, I came because it's less crowded and I can shop, or there's no smoke in the air. And a lot of people who don't like smoke will come on a rain day. So I never know why people come. I'm just open. And we don't make money on those days, but I think we do make money on the better days or on the days that might be in question. There's a festival in New York that closes as soon as it starts drizzling. And people don't know if they should come because where they live it might not be ideal weather. And they never know when the festival is going to close. And so we're open, rain or shine, so that people know, all right, I'll come. And if they decide not to come on a really bad day, they know on an iffy day, well, if they've got nothing else to do and this is what they want to do, they know we'll be open and here.
So, what does it take to put, this is going to be completely to your expertise, what does it take to put an experience like this together?
To create the festival is not my doing. We oversee a lot of paperwork and a lot of government and public interaction, a lot of media purchases, a lot of meetings with other organizations, and a lot of community-based things to get the people here, whether it's just their cooperation to get other people here or to actually get the workers here and the performers here that we needed to have. But it's part showmanship, part promotion, and for my 3 brothers who work with me and everybody else who works here year-round, it's participating in every aspect of the fair. We all build buildings. We all unload a truck. Some not quite as much as others because we still need the office open, but everybody partakes and participates in every aspect of the festival. We'll all move costumes on the day costumes have to be moved. We'll all contribute to brainstorming sessions about what should happen at the festival and try and come up with better ways to do things. So I can't tell you what really works to create the show, just that we've been doing it for a while, and a lot of us started at other shows, and we just go to other festivals and use those experiences to try and generate the kind of show we'd like to participate in.
So, talking about other festivals, pat yourself on the back a little bit here with this one. I've heard that Maryland, and I've been to other festivals, and I would agree that the Maryland Festival is by far superior to PA or King Richard's up in Massachusetts. What sets Rebel Grove apart from the other Renaissance festivals?
I think what sets Maryland apart from other festivals, and I do go to most of the other festivals, and I do take away a lot from them. I enjoy everything I see, and when people, sometimes I think they're just being flattering to me when they say they like Maryland and that you guys do this better than them doing that. And when I go to those shows, I don't see that, but I'm not involved on the level that they are. I'm not a performer, I'm not a vendor in those shows, so I don't know what it's like working with those people. So I suspect that what makes it work, because we don't have the nicest buildings, we don't have the best toilet facilities, we don't have the best food, but we have a lot of really good stuff of those things. And I really think it's because everybody's open and willing to work with each other and take the best of things that they see and try and replicate them here. It's part of that community building that lets other people lend a hand in building the community.
Now, the vendors all build their own booths, correct?
Yes, in most cases. A lot of them now have been buying each other's booths because there haven't been any new spaces to build booths in quite some time. In 1991, when we opened a new area of the fair, we built all of the buildings there and then sold them to the vendors because it was easier to do that going through the building department process than it was to have them come in from California or from Georgia or Minnesota and get involved in that and stay out here for months and months and months. And because it was such a big project of 20+ buildings, we just hired more people and developed everything ourselves and had a lease-to-own program for them. But generally everybody owns their own building out here, and most of them have built it or acquired it from somebody that they knew who built it. And they own their building on our property. They lease the ground from us, and so if they ever leave the show, they can sell their building, although we'll lease the property to whoever buys the building, and there are some restrictions on who can buy the building. They have to be able to be juried into the festival. But beyond that, we're not really restrictive. And so that people, when they leave the show, they can get out with the shirt on their back and some money in their pocket.
So do you think that since the vendors own their own booths, they really take ownership in the appearance of the fair and the integrity of the fair?
Absolutely, because people have a financial stake in this business, because they own their own buildings or they're tied to the success of the show. They contribute significantly to see that it works out as best as they can. There's nothing wrong